here's something for you. That stupid thing, the NES Classic, is currently starting a trend that I don't like at GameStop. What is that trend, you're asking? Well, because of the success, come on, finger, that's what she said. Because of the success of that stupid thing, GameStop has decided to start carrying the At Games retro handheld, whatever you want to call them. And I'll insert a picture here so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And what these are the third-party knockoff handheld systems that have been reviewed by like Lon Seidman, Ashens, and a bunch of other guys, and they suck because it's third-party hardware running third-party software running emulated games, not using the original code. But because of that stupid thing, GameStop thinks that it can sell the knockoff crap and make a ton of money. And they're $50 friggin', and they're not like the system up here where it's a retro looking system with an original looking controller, things like that. This is even worse. It's a handheld about the size of a PSP, and it will be preloaded with emulators, so it doesn't even have HDMI capabilities. It's not going to have any kind of the things that you're hoping for. It's going to suck. It's going to be crap. Don't buy it. Go to Walgreens. They have them for $20 in their toy section. You can go to Toys R Us and get them for $20. Do not buy those from GameStop. I don't know what's more disturbing, the fact that I didn't have my phone all day, or that nobody called me. Well, for those of you that don't know, this is called a Titan test station. And as you can see, it's currently playing Conkers. Well, it's the demo. I have a 64 sitting on here with a couple of my other games. Now, this testing station is much more than a 64 testing station. On the side here, it has multiple inputs. You've got, of course, Xbox 360. Not 100% what that one is. It looks like it might be original Xbox, but it looks like it also might be Dreamcast. But I'm thinking original Xbox. Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo 64, Nintendo Super Nintendo, whatever have you, as well as a PS2, PS3, PS1, basically any PS PlayStation. Having this set up here, and by the way, I took the one TV and put it back out in the living room along with one of my laptops. The only one sitting here is Captain Asus. Hi, Captain Asus. Tickle, 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 tickle. Because now with this setup here, I don't need another TV sitting here. As you can see, I have a proper chair now. Finally broke down and bought one. I was looking for one at a flea market, whatnot, but I couldn't find a good one, so I went to Staples, and they were on sale. And it's pretty comfortable, leans back, does what I want it to do. So as you can see, I've changed the setup again. That's what I do. I'm never happy with just one. What I did was I hit the same normal places I normally do. Didn't have anything. However, at one of the flea markets, they have an indoor set of buildings, and I've been in there before, and the one time I went in there, it was an old guy sitting with another old guy, and they were just kind of chewing the fat, talking to each other, didn't really care that I was there. But today, he actually was talking to me. So I helped this old guy put together a couple of his systems that he had sitting around, and then I noticed that he had some Sega stuff, and it's very dirty. I haven't cleaned it yet, but I have all the parts, so don't worry. But for $20, I got a Model 2 Genesis, a 32X, and a CD attachment. And it's on the official tray, and it even has the extension piece. That's why it doesn't fit 100%, because you can put a Model 1 on top of it if you have the extension. You can't if you don't. If you didn't, the Model 1 would hang out over the side. So the bearer of it all is you need 3 adapters to use everything that's on here. You need one for the Sega CD, one for the Model 2 Genesis, and one for the 32X. Luckily he had 3, so I took one of each. I took all of them except for the one link RF cable that goes from here to here. I have to find that. As soon as I do, then I'll be good to go. And then I really have to clean it. But the contacts all look good. It doesn't look rusty. It was just sitting in boxes. Like he said, he has a vault of stuff, and if I can get into that vault, this will be one of the treasures that I keep. But for 20 bucks, come on, it's the whole thing. Even if it just sits on display, it's the whole damn thing. And then I also got a couple of 6-button controllers, which are the later controllers, not the original. So that was cool. And then he threw in a couple of games. One was race driving on the Super Nintendo, and I like the Super Nintendo, and I love race driving. First arcade game where I actually learned how to drive a stick. That's how old I am. I keep telling you guys, but you don't believe me, but I believe it's called Hard Driving when it was in the arcade. And The Adventures of Bayou Billy. Just saw it sitting there. I'm like, hey, throw that in. He's like, okay. So we talked for almost an hour, and he was like, well, once I get everything sorted out, I'll bring another crate next week, and then we'll work out getting you into... It's actually a bus that's packed from front to back, and you can't get into it. You have to take everything out, so it's one of those things where I'd have to arrange to do a multi-day trip to visit him, unpack everything, organize everything. I'm going to turn the screen off. It's making some background noise. Yeah, that was that noise the whole time. But it's kind of cool, because now I can test Conkers if I want, play Conkers, and I don't have to use, the big one. The big one. I can just use the little one. When I got home, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. It's Saturday, which doesn't happen often because, once I'm back at work, I work every Saturday. So I'm walking through downtown Front Royal where I live, and I pop into a couple of shops, check out some people's stuff, this, that, just common stuff. And I stop into a business. It's a consignment shop again. Now, this place says they're non-profit and they're for local businesses and local people, so that's cool. I hope that is what it is. However, some of the stuff was very unrealistically priced. They had $35 on Mario Kart Double Dash. Problem was, no bonus disc. It has the original play disc, but no bonus disc. Now, I have a bonus disc in another case with no play disc, so that works out well. So yeah, it's even got the Nintendo points, but it doesn't have the actual book. I have an empty case that somebody gave me that has all the pamphlets and stuff, as well as the bonus disc. So I'm making one good one out of it. The lady that ran the place was very nice, and she said, okay, since you're missing one of the discs, I'll do it for half. Now, 17 bucks is still quite expensive for this, in my opinion. But I went ahead and picked it up because I don't have a complete copy, and I knew I had parts to make a complete copy, so now I have one complete copy. While we were looking through the cases, I noticed there was stacks of like 64 games, Super Nintendo games, and he had a copy of Zelda for $26, which I think is what it is going for on the high end. I think they're actually averaging like $18, $19 right now. And, a couple other games. There we go. So I went ahead and passed on most of them, but as we were pulling them out, I saw a Super Game Boy with a red cart. It was sitting like this. I pick it up, he had a $20 sticker on it. So I immediately put it with my games. And the guy's like, oh wow, I didn't even see that. And I'm like, well, you win some, you lose some. You win some, you lose some. Now, what I didn't tell him is I was 90% sure. I've already taken the stickers off, but I knew that there was probably another sticker on here. But the guy was trying to rip everybody off, so I'm not going to apologize for it. He should have put his price on the front. I don't feel bad. Everybody makes mistakes. I've made mistakes. Unfortunately, if you make a mistake, you got to honor it. So, oh, yeah, also a GameCube microphone, in case I need it for Mario Party 7. But I don't have any friends. That's sad. So this is my friend that I go hunting with. Pardon me, I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. He is going completely digital and limited release games. You know those companies that do like the physical release of the digital games? That's what he's collecting and buying. He's getting away from all the JRPGs and stuff like that that are physical and going digital. So he just puts them onto his PS4 or his PSP Go or his PS Vita. Actually, I think he got rid of his Vita. But anyways, he was going to trade these games in, and rather than let him trade them in, or let them. He's for people. Ha ha ha. Rather than let him trade him in and just get X amount of dollars, I went ahead and paid him what the trade-in was, so that he still got the same amount of money, but in cash instead of just trade. Normally he would just buy like iTunes cards, I guess. So I gave him the money in cash for what these games would have traded in for. A couple of the games they don't actually trade in would be like the PSP stuff, but he was cool with just the offer that I made him. So I got Disgaea Infinite, a sealed copy of Phantasy Star Portable. And again, I like my sealed stuff, especially, I'm not going to say older because I'm not sure when this came out, but lesser recent consoles. And a complete copy, however, I got to heat up the box with my heat gun in order to get the sticker off without damaging it too much. And I got a complete copy of Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2 Innocent Sin. And this is complete, and the game itself is sealed. So the game is sealed. As you can see, it still has the new sticker on the bottom. And it has the soundtrack. Now, I'm not sure if they sealed it, but it does look like they may have, but at least it's in there. So, that was cool. A sealed copy of Corpse Party on the PS Vita. A sealed copy of Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remastered. It's got a couple of flaws in the box, but I think that's because of the way that they were sitting in a box when I carried them up. Oops. My friend also really likes his soundtracks, so I've got a copy here of Killer is... Down, boy. I've got a copy of Killer is Dead for the PS3. I've shown you before I have a complete copy of it on Xbox 360, which has a soundtrack, so I'm not butthurt about that. But I also like big cases. Don't know why. Big box stuff just looks cool. So that was cool. Only trades in for like 84 cents, so he was better off letting me buy it off him. Let's see, a few JRPG games. Again, he's really into these. I'm not as much, but they were cheaper this way. And while I wouldn't go out of my way to buy them unless they were sealed, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to get a good deal. You have Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, which apparently is the original Tales of Symphonia and Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World. So it's just a collection, basically. Then you have Tears to Tiara 2, Heir of the Overlord. Drakengard 3, and I have 1 and 2. They're on PlayStation and PlayStation 2. A copy of Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, and the Steelbook. He had put it in the Steelbook, which is fine. Just keep them both together. You just rubber band them together, and they hang out together. Can I say together again? Together. Everybody together. Say together. Together, 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 together. Anyway, here we have Mugen Souls Z. And sorry if I'm reading these before I'm showing them to you. It's because I've never heard of most of these. You have Arno Surge, Ode to an Unborn Star. Time and Eternity. And I am noticing that a lot of these are NIS or Atlas. That's, I guess, the most common maker of the games for the systems. Dynasty Warriors Strike Force. Dynasty Warriors 7. Believe it or not, the most expensive game out of everything I just showed you, other than the sealed Persona, is actually Bleach. Soul Resurrection. Excuse me, it must be French. Resurrection. Because it's got the "niet" or the O. All these are just going into the collection. I have no reason to sell those. Again, I bought them because they were a good deal. Probably wind up bundling that with a system and getting rid of it. Probably going to get rid of some of the other stuff. As you saw, I still have things like the NES Classic, which is right there. Wow, I actually pointed to it the first try. The display Xbox One that I have to get working, and the Elite controller, which again, I may take the guts out of my ugly ass Battlefield 1S controller and put it in there. That way I just have a working prototype. I haven't decided. And then, yeah, if anything else pops up, I'll let you know. I'm going to be getting rid of a few things that I'm not keeping anymore. Like, I've decided to list that for sale. This is the one that I said that I bought to sell, but I just hadn't gotten around to it. That's about it. So leave me a thumbs up if you like my videos. Leave me a comment if you have any questions, cars, video games, quantum physics. I'm not really good at quantum physics, but I'll try. And then just feel free to subscribe if you want to get more notifications whenever I find more stuff like that, or the games and things like that. Until then, I will talk to you guys later.